So hey, welcome back to Netflix Football, and it's been a while since I've done a podcast, and that was because basically I was covering Minerva Academy's the scouting trials that were going on in West Bengal. Then I injured my meniscus, my ligaments, if in simpler words. So I had an operation, and that left me broken a bit because I'll be not be able to walk, and I'll have a sporting recovery after 6 months, but that did not break my spirit, and I'm back. Yes, your favorite host on this social platform, Neil, is back with podcast with Neil, and as usual, Man United versus Crystal Palace, the pre-match podcast with me. We have two special guests. You have known them, both of them, Shan Maiti and DASGUPTA. Let me unmute them. So, welcome back to Netflix Football. How much have you missed me? That's my first question of tonight.
A lot. And I wish that you get a quick recovery. And I was present when you had the injury, actually, when you were playing football with us. And
the first injury.
I don't know how.
This is the aggravation
Yes,
of the second
the first injury. That was the onset, actually. And I don't know whatsoever what you're doing. Like a big photographer you became, and you were shooting a video. And how did you tore your ligament once again? Like shooting a video, I'm shocked. So I wish you a quick recovery.
I'm totally not surprised. I mean, we are fans of Louis Saha, so this goes with it. We've been there, done that, seen all of you.
I have grown up idolizing Phil Jones being the next Duncan Edwards, and that was karma calling back upon me. So without much further ado, let's have a look at the lineup first. So here it is. Dean Henderson starts. DASGUPTA is very happy because Eric Bailly partners Harry Maguire. Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka are undroppables at this moment of time. Fred and Matic making the midfield. Rashford, Fernandes and Greenwood. Edinson Cavani back in the lineup. But what's interesting is there's no Zaha. He's still injured, probably. Van Aanholt makes a comeback with a horrific injury in the reverse fixture. In the fixture last season, not the reverse fixture. More or less the same team they put out more often. Eze will be a key figure to watch. Start with DASGUPTA. How happy are you seeing Lindelof on the bench tonight?
I mean, our defense will be better, and will probably play higher up the pitch as a result. So, hope to see a few good attacking combinations. Hopefully, Bruno will be back to his old self, and hopefully, will go back a few goals. Even Cavani's back there, so that's another good thing to look forward to.
So, Shan, what do you think of the lineup? Do you think that you were raring to go about how Anthony Martial has been featuring, and should he have got a chance this midweek, and Cavani should have come on from the bench, considering how injured his injury concerns at the moment of time?
Yeah, I thought that Cavani wasn't 100% fit, and maybe he's 100% fit because Ole doesn't allow players who isn't 100% fit to play in the match, actually. So I hope he's got confidence in Edinson Cavani. And as per Anthony Martial, I'm concerned, he is having some personal problems, and when people are getting racially abused, some of our players, Eric Bailly, Marcus Rashford, and Anthony Martial, they are being racially abused by few of the toxic fan base. And I know it's very difficult, a difficult period for the team as well as the players. And he's going through a rough patch. And I was reading an article where Roy Keane was criticizing Anthony Martial that he isn't enjoying the game a lot, enjoying football a lot, basically. And if he is not doing that, then Manchester United will show him the exit door. And but I've seen that Ole has backed Anthony Martial up, and we all love Anthony Martial. We know what he has done the previous season: 23 goals and 9 assists. And he needs to come back into form as soon as possible, and the team needs him. He's a quick player. He's a quick-witted player, and as per Edinson Cavani, he is a witty player, and he is the experience in the team. I'm happy with the lineup today, and with Eric Bailly pairing up with Harry Maguire, I think the defense will be strong, as DASGUPTA said, and another experience in the midfield, and Nemanja Matic pairing up with Fred. So I think the midfield will also midfield will also be a little bit experienced and strong. Okay, I'll go with Edinson Cavani today, and hoping to see Anthony Martial after the halftime if nothing goes our way. And I hope that he answers back all the critics today, and he needs to come back to his form because the team needs him in absence of Paul Pogba.
Absolutely, and welcome back, Sword Prashant Bhau. So thanks for joining in on the comments. Not all on Martial FC is what he says, and yes, contradicting to Shayan's, yes, quick since 5 years and nothing else. Jivak, this is a contradicting statement, like not a contradicting statement. I'll ask you this because how many top class, world class strikers are number one available at this market presently? You cut out Erling Haaland, he is not reachable at this moment of time. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang still not there. Edinson Cavani was in the brackets, we got him. How many other top class, world class, top class and world class strikers available at the moment that is feasible? Because I remember Arsenal fans blemishing on how Lacazette was their prima donna for a number of seasons. He's still there, he's aged, he's lost more hair than me, and still people complain. But Martial, I understand more or less the same price tag, if I'm not mistaken. But my question to you, Deepak, is Martial 2 seasons, when he's played on the center of the pitch, he's played well. Suddenly Edinson Cavani comes in and he's shifted out wide, and his numbers, as well as the ban that came on in the start of the season, hampered his confidence. Do you think we are getting too much harsh on Martial, considering all the efforts that he made are world-class saves by the goalkeeper starring Levi Asins on match day?
Look, there are 3 things to look at this whole situation, right? One is, first of all, as fans, our attention span is extremely low these days. Even if a player was our top scorer last year this season, we don't stop vilifying him even if he's going through a bad patch. To the extent that some quote unquote fans see fit to racially abuse that person. And once that happens, how somebody can enjoy their football as Roy Keane demands Martial do is far beyond my understanding. So I would love to be enlightened by Roy Keane as to how that's possible. The problem with Martial is his outlook towards the game, right? I mean, we have had a game where we've seen Solskjaer literally asking Martial to move and be more proactive in terms of looking the opponents down, but he was loitering around the center circle while we, as a team, move forward with the ball. So those are kind of things that get picked up, and then one news report adds on top of another. A lethargic show suddenly becomes a discussion that he's not enjoying his football, so on and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, there have been points of concern given the kind of performance he's shown that he's capable to deliver, and the kind of performance that we've seen from him this year. That said, we have seen footballers go through bad patches and come out on the other end. If Ole could make a competent footballer out of Fed, out of a bunch of other people in our team, then I completely believe that he can, given enough time, can turn the bad patch Martial is having into a player who's stronger mentally and probably a bit more into the game in terms of energy and passion. So this is a temporary thing for me, but the way this has been portrayed in the media and handled by fans has been really, really poor. I'm appalled at some of the things that have happened.
I would like to add something to this.
Yeah, I'll come to you on a bit. I was just asking you this because, but I'll just add one thing. Manchester United, Crystal Palace versus Manchester United. United have not lost at any of the other encounters. Now, last season, Martial, Rashford and Greenwood had scored. Were you actually raring for Anthony Martial to come in? Because he scored a scintillating goal where Patrick Van Aanholt unfortunately had a bad season-ending injury. But do you think Martial needs a run of games, as you rightly pointed out a few minutes back?
Is the question for me or Chipakta?
Yes, yes, you.
Uh, yeah, Anthony Martial. I wanted to add one thing about Anthony Martial. I mean, like when you look at the expression on his face, Anthony Martial, he always is like his eyebrows are down and he's like angry man in the pitch, as if like something is going on inside his head, you know. So there is a big proverb that happy people turns out to be successful, but all successful people are not really happy. Okay, so Anthony Martial, what he needs to do is be happy playing his natural football, the way he plays, the way he attacks, and we cannot forget the way he scores from outside the box, the way he can curl the ball, the way he can dribble past players. So that's the basics. That's the basics where you need to stick to when people are criticizing you. It's not about Martial FC. I don't care about who is talking about who is Martial FC or who is Rashford FC, because I really love Marcus Rashford over any player at the moment at Manchester United. But I'm not really a Martial fan, big Martial fan. But I'm just spitting the way people are criticizing Anthony Martial at the moment. So it's not right. You need to back the players up. We're already 15 points behind the league leaders, man. We need to get behind the players and support them. Why criticize them when they're already facing lots of problems in their life? So all I have to say is I want Martial to get back to his form and play beside the players who are in the team actually. Young players like Mason Greenwood, young players like Marcus Rashford, get behind them, get in the team and show what you can do. That's it.
And talking
Can I just
about young
add a
players,
small thing
yeah,
before you
Deepak,
move on to this point?
go on, go on.
I mean, we are a team that has scored the highest number of goals this season in the league. Clearly, goal scoring is not a problem. If one of the strikers is having a bad season, this is probably the best season to do it when everybody else around you is scoring. The problem for us is the other end of the pitch. And that's where we see a lot of people getting a lot of flack and not enough criticism is doled out to certain players. So, do we have our priorities right in terms of what is really needed to be criticized and highlighted and pointed out?
I know you can go on and on about how Lindelof and Maguire, but talking about controversies and young players, Mason Greenwood and Callum Hudson-Odoi were on the pitch the other night, and there's a still that you might all recognize, uh, and the caption goes by it. So balls on my hand. So starting with Jivakda, do you think that this was a penalty at any angle?
I think it's a penalty, and I believe experts' opinions. So, Mark Clattenburg believes it's a penalty. I think my thoughts are justified. I
But
do
did
not
Jurgen Klopp
know.
believe it was a
So, I
penalty?
haven't, I haven't heard a theory that explains how this is not a penalty as of this date. It's been 4 days since the match has finished, 3 days. I haven't heard why this is not a penalty from anybody. So
People says
Shahid?
it's unintentional. People says it's unintentional, but I have a very big joke to crack here. You cannot do a ball with the ball. I mean, ball means a ball dance. So you cannot do a ball with the ball. So you cannot touch the ball. You touch the ball, you block the player, and you are touching the ball like you are doing a ball dance. It's a clear penalty, man. And I heard people saying that it's not intentional, blah blah blah. But to me, it's an absolute penalty. And I
look,
don't
even
know
Tom, yeah,
and I completely agree with Jeepakda. Uh, like I haven't heard from anybody a legit reason why it is not a penalty. I mean, like simply you cannot do a ball with the ball. Simply, it's a penalty for me.
Thomas
Absolutely.
Thomas Tuchel claimed that this is not a penalty because Greenwood touched the ball with his hand before this happened, which is not true. So even he indirectly like accepted that Hudson-Odoi did touch the ball with his hand. His defense was that Greenwood before this, which is not wrong, right? So I don't know what's going on. I mean,
Probably, probably we now know why Thomas Tuchel was sacked at PSG, because he wanted to replace Neymar with another Neymar, because two wrongs doesn't make a right. And by the way, Neymar's still injured because his sister's birthday is coming up. And take a few comments. Sort of the. I'm doing good. I'm on the road to recovery. Tomal says, for fuck's sake, give Bruno some rest. 15 points behind. Shayan, do you think Bruno Fernandes deserves some
Bruno
rest
doesn't
at
want
this
a
point?
rest, right? I mean, it's not about wanting to give him rest. He doesn't want one. Ole has said that multiple times.
Chan?
I don't want to see Bruno walking straight off to the dressing room just like Cristiano Ronaldo did when he was subbed off. So I want our best players to stay happy at the moment, and if he's enjoying playing football at the moment, and if that brings the best out of a man, shall it be? Let's see what Bruno can do. I mean, like, he is creating his magic at the moment. Last few matches, he was like really off the colors, but uh, we cannot deny what he has done for the team. So I don't think
If Rashford
Bruno needs
hadn't
some rest.
missed like 20
Yes, he
sitters
played
this
all the
season,
matches
Bruno
actually.
Bruno would have actually had 50 assists or something like that. It's crazy
Exactly,
the
and
amount of chances that he creates. Okay, Saurabh says that absence of Pogba hurting us in the midfield. Jivak, creativity, Bruno, he's done that. He's done that time and again. He's produced the creativity sparks all on his own at times. Now Rashford has chipped in from the left when he has been on form. Saw a magnificent goal on the weekend against I forgot the probably Southampton. No, I actually forgot the opponent that we played last weekend. So because I got injured in that week, so don't all the anesthesia is wiping away. So the nutmeg goal that against Newcastle, yes.
That was not
So do you
last
think?
weekend. Last weekend we played Chelsea.
So I lost track of time. So
Yep.
forgive me on that. So absence of Pogba, do you think Pogba coming back would hand a major boost, considering that he was winning us matches single-handedly at times?
The way we have replaced Pogba is to play a double pivot of Fred and McTominay, and it doesn't take a genius to guess which midfield would eventually be more creative. I mean, I'm not saying it's better or worse. I'm talking pure creativity. If Bruno to shoulder the entire responsibility of creating all the chances, he can, given the if the team supports his uh, or rather gets him involved in the play from early on and provides him with enough like supply. But given the way we play with two of our defenders sitting super deep with two defensive midfielders protecting them, there's literally no support that Bruno gets from deeper behind him, right? And when that happens, then he has to drop deep to get the ball, and that's when the attack dies just at there. So, and that has happened numerous times over the last couple of months, specifically when, again, I know we'll eventually go back to it, but specifically when Eric Bailly has not played. And there's a very clear reason for that, right? I mean, it's not, it's, it's very evident if you look at the last 7 games that Eric Bailly has played. We've won 6 games, drawn one, and you compare with whatever number of games that he's not played.
It's Eric Bailly FC. There's a new fan club, guys. It's Eric Bailly FC.
No,
No more
I understand,
Martial
right? I
FC.
mean, it's
No more
weird.
Bruno. It's Eric Bailly FC, and he's
Oh,
playing
you
tonight.
cannot deny that. You cannot deny that that goalie blocked, actually putting his body on the line. That's still, like, floating in my mind at the moment, and I'm thinking Eric by FC going
I
from
mean,
left
that
to
is
right.
just one part of it. I mean, what Eric Bailly does is he runs with the ball, he brings the play in the midfield, the midfielders push up a lot. It's a very different team that plays when we have somebody pacey playing in the defense. It doesn't have to be Eric Bailly, it has to be somebody who has pace in the defense. When I think of a defense, right, there are broadly 5 different things that you need to do. You need to be good in the air, you need to be good with the ball, you need to close down spaces very well, you need to bring in your either midfielders or wide players as you need, as opportune, and be meticulous with the ball. And something else that I forgot. But once we look at the pairing that we have, Maguire and Lindelof, they're good at maybe one or two things. Maguire is good at handling with aerial situations. Lindelof is good with the ball on his feet. The other two or three things that you expect from a defense does not get covered when these two people are playing. The fifth one was being able to close down attacks when they come. So once you have a defense that essentially 40% of what a complete defense is supposed to do, you are going to have to play those midfielders to protect that defense. That's not rocket science, and that's what we've been seeing. And that's why when we go to Chelsea, we set up to play like that and we end up with a nil, which I think is a very credible result, but as fans had a lot of issues with that. But the problem is with the team that we have and the way we wanted to play, we did very well. And that's the kind of football that we should expect with that kind of team.
Okay.
So Bruno today would be much better. The result.
So here's some trivia for you, Jibabda. So if you can see on the screen, so right now I'll be highlighting myself a bit more. So here's what United play when they have Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. The one on the circle you can see is Victor Lindelof, and there is it's the defensive midfielder, and there's always naturally a 3 there. And whenever Eric Bailly plays, see, here's Maguire. Matic is just there. This is not a 3, guys. This is just the shape of the thing. This is predominantly a 3 where Victor Lindelof is asked sometimes to go forward with the ball, and if he loses, then inshallah Harry Maguire has been saving our asses. But since Eric Bailly plays, he takes that nonchalantly, that okay, Maguire, you can go up, you do your Beckenbauering up the pitch, and I'm there to put in those last ditch tackles. But here's what intrigues me tactically. I'll bring back 3 of them. I'll ask Shayan first. Shayan, if you see the space within the midfield, here Pogba is playing. Pogba is wanting the ball. The defensive midfielder Matic is over here. Bruno is over here on the half space. Greenwood, Van de Beek. I don't know where Van de Beek is right now, but Van de Beek is currently there. So, as Jibabda said in his 5th point, that lack of ability of closing down forward players or in the transition of play. So I'll ask you, does a stagnant midfield, you see a Matic and a Pogba, will not close you down and win you balls like a Kante or a Declan Rice? But a Scott McTominay will win you those balls, but there is little ball progression, and Bruno has to drop down deeper and deeper, and that's why his ability on the ball, that's why his possession statistics is more, and the number of through balls or the number of assists, the expected assists actually goes down. So whenever whenever Lindelof actually plays, or you can see at least Lindelof and Maguire is often paired with McTominay and Fred, because Ole knows that there's going to be a fudge up at any point of time. So Shayan, do you think that this is an over dependence on number 1 Fred and McTominay, or over reliance on Lindelof and under reliance on Bailly? What do you think is happening over here? Explain to us.
I think that for me, absolutely, I would go with Eric Bailly and Harry Maguire, because when we play Eric Bailly and Harry Maguire, the ball playing session is working in the midfield. It's the midfield who is playing out the ball, reaching out to the ball, wanting the ball, and making those play around and making the play to the forwards. And when it's Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire, they're playing very close to the penalty box, so that they can, you just said that it's a stagnant kind of midfield which maintains the line actually, and it also becomes a threat when Aaron Wan-Bissaka is trying to get on the ball and moving it forward. So it becomes very difficult, because Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire are both slow defenders. As I have heard a lot of places and I have seen, they're both very, very slow. And I'm just furious at the moment when I am thinking about some few goals which we considered. Harry Maguire is just watching the ball. Harry Maguire is just watching the ball. And the attackers are scoring. So when we have Eric Bailly in that squad, we get that extra edge. He is that firing up defender who gets on the ball, who runs towards the ball and blocks those shots. He runs behind the attackers and tells them that I'm behind you. You should better watch out for me coming for you. And Eric Bay is a more daring defender. So, you know, at that moment, the lineup can shift towards a little bit to the forward, and it's the midfield who makes up the play. And Manchester United have an urge to score more goals. When Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire,
Shine is cutting off, I think.
since you said McTominay and Fred have to play, they are working a lot in their half. And as I said, that when you play football in your own half, you get nothing. When you play football in the opponent's half, that's when you are devastating and score some goals. So Eric Bailly and Harry Maguire does what is that let the team play football in the opponent's half, which is attacking mindset, and that's what I am really, really, enjoy, but which is really enjoyable for me. So I would really go with Eric Bailly and Harry Maguire instead of Lindelof and Harry Maguire. And what I have added to it is that when Lindelof and Harry Maguire plays in the team, they adds up a monopoly of morality to the side. They are just doing a monopoly of morality. Okay, two morons can't play together. So
Here's
Harry
a thought
Maguire
for
is
you, Shan.
acting like a captain.
Think about
Yeah,
this. When Maguire and Lindelof play with Fred and McTominay in front of them, and when McTominay is not making those forward runs, which gets him goals.
absolutely,
Whenever he does, he gets those goals.
absolutely,
We essentially
absolutely,
have 1.1.5 players in the defense, because the other half where you're supposed to be is missing. In the defensive midfield, we have two players doing the job of one person. So we are
absolutely.
essentially playing 8.5 people or players with 10 people. Think about that. That's the kind of disadvantage that we have when we are playing this lineup.
Absolutely, absolutely. I
Yeah,
completely agree with you. And
as Shayan said that when you play in your own half, you get nothing, and when you play in the opponent's half, you're more devastating. So brownie points from Michael Owen there. But talking about talking about being daring, I was once in a podcast with Prashant Bahu commented earlier. He said that Eric Bai is always one disaster away. So Deepakta, I'll ask you this. So because Eric Bai gave away one penalty, Eric Bai gave away one penalty. Do you think it's justified for him to make this kind of a comment where you are not serious about Eric Bailly and you are seeing Victor Lindelof missing those headers, missing his man, fixing his hair? At least he has hair. I don't. So is it
oh
justified?
my god, sorry,
Eric
sorry.
Bailly is not the best defender in the world, right? I mean, nobody is saying that.
Oh,
It's essentially putting
absolutely not.
together two players who can cover at least four of those five things that I talked about. That's how you play a competent defense. And they don't have to be the best uh, players in the world, they have to be functional together. But the problem we have with Lindelof and Maguire is they're essentially one player offering the exact similar kind of qualities. Lindelof who was supposed to be better with the ball on his feet. These days we see Maguire making runs down the left hand channel sometimes for some reason. So even that difference these days is negated. So it's essentially two defenders who are good on the air and somewhat good with the ball on their feet, and that's it. We don't attack the ball. We are not pacey in terms of defending. So that's where we are genuinely missing one defender. That's essentially at least half or 0.75 of your defense missing. So, and in terms of Eric Bailly being one disaster away from whatever, I don't know. I don't know what we are away from in terms of that one disaster has occurred. But with Lindelof and Maguire, it's disasters galore, man. I mean, what are we talking about? Every single, I don't remember like more than two or three games where we've gone through 90 minutes of football with Maguire and Lindelof, and there's been no calamity. It might not have been goals free, but there would have been issues, something or the other that would have happened. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's very clear as to what works and what doesn't. And I really don't believe that Solskjaer is a manager who's trying to do something as obvious as this. He probably has some reason that I have no idea about as to why he continues playing those two. Maybe by his injury record. But the problem with that theory is if you're protecting by to play certain games, then there should not be a Crystal Palace game squeezed between a
Right,
Chelsea and Man City, but the Chelsea and Man City game, and Lindelof should be playing the game in between. That's my
right.
problem.
I think actually Eric Bay is playing this game because Victor Lindelof can play against Manchester City. So we
Exactly.
all
Yep.
know that Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire is going to play against Manchester City, which is
Oh
which
my
is
God.
always first choice defenders. I don't know why he trusts these two defenders so much, but
Peter Lindelof
God
is
save
higher
us.
football manager than Eric Bailly. That's why maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer makes that choice. But
No,
you
I can
know where to
confirm that's not the case. I can categorically confirm that's not the case.
maybe he's not updated with the recent scheme of things because anyways, jokes apart, by the way guys, I have reached 600 subscribers very soon because I'm working hard. That's number one. And number two, your love and support that you have shown has been amazing. And I would always want you to not stop loving this, because lack of love number one, single Valentine's Day number two, United losing number not losing, we have not lost in a long time. And maybe if we lose today, somebody is going to break my other leg. But I'm sure that whenever I've done a podcast in this midway and whenever I've spoken bullshit United, and I actually come away from something. And honestly, if my saying influences United's results, then actually I am some kind of a pharaoh, and you should be praying for me, and I should have more subscribers. But by the way, I said this because some people actually believe this. There are groups which say that whenever I do a podcast, United actually lose. I've been doing podcasts for this whole season, and United have gone like 18, or United have gone unbeaten in against away fixtures since like 2019 or something like that. So I don't want to jinx it, but anyways, hit that subscribe button and let me get to 700. There are a lot of things planned, but my leg did not actually pertain it. So hopefully we'll get on track back soon. But till then, keep the love incoming, and let's move to the runaway leaders at this moment of time. Manchester City again 1-1 drawing against Wolverhampton Wanderers last night, and then finished the game 4-1. Shayan, how heartbroken were you when you saw the scoreline on the 80th minute, went to sleep, woke up and saw a 4-1 drubbing, as they call it? So
I
15
just want to
points.
ask you.
Yeah, go on.
I just want to ask you that how could you read my mind actually? Because I actually saw the score at 80th minute and I saw, thank God, it's a draw. And when I woke up, I saw it. I got to know it from my friend that it was 4-1. So I don't know what is going on. I don't know. They're playing like a beast at the moment. Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. So what they call it? I don't know. I have no clue actually. I would pass the question because they're playing like a beast at the moment, and I don't know what is there to stop them. So I would like to pass on the question. Actually, I have no clue how are they playing. I mean, like they're at the top of the league, 15 points. I have no clue. I have no clue. Please.
So Jivakda, so Saurabhda has been commenting that our noisy neighbors have Diaz Stones and Diaz
Yep.
Laporte on the heart of the defense, and we all know defenders hunt in packs. How much crucial is it for Tiffy, for City, is to fortify our defense in the coming summer? We have talked about that, but I'll stick with the first of the question to Jivakda. Hunting in pairs, Ruben Diaz and John Stones. There's no Laporte in the scene, and Van de Beek's teammate and much higher rated Nathan Ake has probably vanished people's minds. But if he was at United and not starting matches, people, including United fans, would have bashed the hell out of Solskjaer and us and whatever. Anyways, Jivakda, how important has Ruben Dias and the sudden resurgence of John Stones been to title, the title credentials, considering a lengthy amount of time without Sergio Aguero and Kevin De Bruyne?
We'll come to that, but let me just address the other point that you touched upon, right? In terms of Natanake not being in the side, not being criticized. You need fans to criticize, right? It doesn't have them. That works in their favor. So Guardiola actually has that one side of him covered. There is no fans criticizing him. That's good for him. He can do his job in peace. Anyway, Now, coming to the defense, right? Let's talk about Laporte. He's somebody who's these days a permanent fixture on the bench for City. If he was at United, he would be our first choice defender, better than the any other player that we have by a country mile. That's just how good City's bench is. Right now, City are playing games where they're dropping 5 players against a very robust West Ham and are coming away with a 1-0 win. They're dropping Kevin De Bruyne and they play like they don't need him. He's their best player by a country mile. That's how good the rest of the team is. I do agree that the defense is a massive part, and if not for Bruno Fernandes, Ruben Diaz would probably be the player of the season hands down. But it's not just the defense that's getting City through, right? The defense is being talked about because typically a Guardiola team does not mind their defensive duties so much as this one is doing. And that's something that's been very refreshing to see from a Man City side. That's why we're talking about it. But you look at the game that they played yesterday, right? I was an unfortunate soul who was not watching the game till the 80th minute. I saw it 1-1. I turned the match on, and then I had to experience those 3 goals. And I would tell you that they were literally, I mean, what Saurabh said was right. They were like literally hounding Wolves' penalty box. Wolves at points of time could not seem to get out of it. And the goals that they scored, they basically forced errors of Dendoncker twice. He scored the own goal first, and then the second goal came off him. It's essentially a team that's super energized, whose fitness levels are very high, that knows where everybody else is and super comfortable with how everybody is, and is performing as a team. There's nothing else to it. Ruben Diaz is a fantastic player. He's been scoring goals along with the fact that he's a brilliant defender, and he being there has helped John Stones kind of realize the potential that he was once touted for. But it's not just about those 2 players. It's the fact that City probably as a team is at its peak of maturity right now. Aguero is downhill, I get that, but that's just one thing. Except for him, the players that they have, like Sterling, De Bruyne, Diaz, of course, Henderson to some extent, they're all at their peaks of career, and as a team, they're at the height of what they were. So think about Liverpool when they were winning. That's the kind of football that this team is playing right now. And there's literally no limit to what they can achieve. They've won like 20 games on the trot, and this doesn't seem like and this doesn't
21.
seem like it's gonna be ending anytime soon, right? And massive kudos to Guardiola, but like I
think
said,
it will end. I think it will end on Sunday.
I hope it does. I'll send you a beer if it does. I genuinely don't believe it will.
Oh, I don't drink a beer.
You can forward that to me.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like I said, all said and done, it helps that Guardiola doesn't get criticized for benching Natanate because there are no freaking supporters.
I've got a gut feeling that Manchester United will win on Sunday.
Sunday is on Sunday, but we have to win against
today is on Palace. Today.
But
oh yeah,
something which is very intrigued that being a Bengali, football is important, as is our politics. Now you might be wondering why I'm talking politics, because I don't want my channel to get demonetized, so I'll not take any names, or I'll just put out specific events from what I'm going to in my next topic. Is that many of us saw the brigade that happened and the sea of red flags that was happening at this moment of time. And the comical part in what I'm going next is, it's better if I show you on the screen, is the battle for the right wing. One is in red, one is in orange, and please don't laugh.
God. Oh my God.
Puns aside, if you enjoyed the pun, you can hit 3 subscribes.
We didn't, I can assure you.
People will be waiting on the morning. Maybe Mark Goldbridge will be hired by some Mr. Norinder or something like that, and they'll be pelting stones at my backyard. But I'll not take it. I'll still keep doing this for the sake of the integrity of my comical entrepreneurship. But again, coming back to football entirely, battle for the right wing. One red, one orange at this moment of time. The color combination is even amazing. Mason Greenwood and Amad Diallo. Amad Diallo has come in on a few cameos here and there, shown on very well. Shola Shoretire has also come in. We'll talk about him in the other segment on other podcast because he's still a bit raw. Mason Greenwood, he played through the middle ish on the last match, was okay-ish at this point of time. But the only way that we can see him in the long term in this United lineup is through probably the right wing, because I don't think yet that he's cut out to be a center forward because he takes too much time on the ball. I don't know whether playing out wide has caused it that, or playing him as a right winger where he is not that much enlightened upon. But it doesn't look that. It looks like Anthony Martial on the left wing, but a bit better because on effort. Now Amad Diallo coming in, Jivagda, do you think Greenwood has some fire up on his pants that he needs to deliver?
I'm super relaxed about the situation because I think both these players will actually come into their own maybe a year to 15 months from now when the next season ends. That's when we'll probably finally let Cavani go. And that's when it will be time for Greenwood to take the centre forward role on a permanent basis. And that's probably when Ahmad will be taking over as the prime right winger if we don't sign one in this summer. Uh, so it's great to have those people like players like in the squad. Both of them will take their own sweet time to come into their own. Greenwood has already established himself as a pretty good right winger, but his final destination, I genuinely believe, is up. He has to get through a lot of things. He has to sort his, like I said, first of all, he has to bulk himself up because he gets muscled out time and again. He needs to decide, develop a better decision making with the ball at feet. Taking too much time, like you said, doesn't help. So those are things that in his games we will have to fix. And he, being a young player, is expected to be inconsistent. So I don't mind any of that as long as they're developing steadily over the next year. Our future looks pretty good. So I'm totally not concerned about there being a battle. If there is timeshare, I don't think any of these two would expect over the next 2 seasons or one and a half seasons to really be a first team player who's playing 40, 45 games in a season. They will be very happy to play, go back to the drawing board, learn something from the training field, come back into that again. And as long as that cycle is happening and moving towards a positive cycle, I'm super happy. I don't mind at all. It's a good set of players to have in the team.
Okay, Shan, I'll ask you this question: that why Greenwood gets games very easily, considering that he has hardly done anything this season that to be stopped after halftime due to invisible performances. Do you think that this is a very harsh comment, considering that he's still 19 years old and still learning the game?
Mason Greenwood. He is one of my favorite players in the team at the moment, and we can't judge players by just scoring goals, and like he has the killer instinct. He gets on the ball. He has that instinct to pass on the ball, cross the ball, and he's young. He's learning football, and it's an extra edge to the team when you have a young talent and a strong manager backing him up, like a player like Mason Greenwood. He can be pushing the senior players at their best as well, because we have seen that in the early season, or in the early time of the season, Mason Greenwood have scored few goals, and in the previous season, Mason Greenwood really ended up well by scoring some of beautiful goals from outside the box, and we all know what he can do with both of his legs, and we don't have a clue which leg is he. Is he a right-footed player or a left-footed player? He can score goals with the both. So I think the time is soon that when he is going to play in the middle, and absolutely he spends a lot of time on the ball, and that's why he's not getting the role. And there's a long span of football in him yet. So it's similar for Amad Diallo. So they can wait. They can follow their manager. They can trust their manager. It's under process, and soon they're going to get their chances in the team. So I think Mason Greenwood is a good pick, and he needs game time. He is a good player, and he needs the game time to sharpen himself up so that he can deliver for the team. I think that's the plan at the moment for Ole Gunnar.
That's a brilliant plan, considering that even the rumors of Jadon Sancho and Pogba teasing that on the new Pepsi advert that finally on the same team. So I'd love a Jadon Sancho. The more the merrier, because I think Lingard, the likes of Juan Mata have had their spells at the careers. Even Hakan Çalhanoğlu being linked with a free agent signing, more the merrier. But we'll talk about the transfers in the off-season segment. So right now is the time for the predictions, the most important segment. I'll start off with Shan. Crystal Palace away, where we have never lost a match.
I always go bold, so I'll predict a 4-0 victory. Always positive, man.
Jibogda, no Wilfred Zaha, but and Andros Townsend, Eze, and Ayu. Can they cause let's what they call disrupt in normalcy in United's away record?
They have a good attack, right? I mean, I do think they will probably score a goal here and there. So I'm probably going for a 3-1 win for us. But I do believe we will be scoring a fair bit of goals, and Bruno will have a very good game as a result of everything else that's there.
Bruno will have a field day. Let's hope the referees finally give penalties, because it's long back then that Klopp has said something and the penalty quota has absolutely dried up. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, like when Jurgen Klopp isn't able to do anything, he goes and knocks at Manchester United's records, and he said that we win games because of penalties. Because that's not the case, bro. We were on the top of the league, and we are second at the moment. So we are scoring goals fair enough. So that's it.
Okay, Tomal says that Crystal Palace 1 and United 3. So I'd be a bit skeptical as usual, because I think that this seems a draw to me, because Matic and Fred number 1, that looks a draw. Eric Bailly is my only saving grace, but Edinson Cavani, I think he's being rushed back. Maybe Anthony Martial would have been a good pick. It's a big match for Mason Greenwood, that I feel, because it's been quite long that he has not had a goal or an assist in the Premier League, and these numbers actually take an effect mentally. So I think Mason has a good chance to redeem himself, because Chelsea was good with the shots, and let's hope that Guaita does not become Levi Yashin as usual. That what happens. And
yeah, true.
The match starts in around 10 odd minutes. So we'll be with you till right now. So thanks Jibogda and thanks Shan for joining in on such short notice, because I could not plan much, because I have to cater on my injuries and bring in all the sympathy from the ladies right now. So without much further bullshitting, thank you all for joining in. Do enjoy the match and do leave a subscribe. That would be amazing. My road to 700 is on, and then to 1K. Do suggest to your friends, because I would have definitely hit 1K, because I had planned to go to Punjab. I had planned to go to Himachal Pradesh and cover all the scouting event. That wasn't possible because of a bad ligament injury. Okay, Swastik has a comment. He says, Swatik, sorry. Score will be 3-0 victory for Man United. Let's hope, but I'm a bit skeptical. Let's see what happens. Keep that subscribe button pinging, and let's hope that we can reach 700 by the end of 15th of March. Let's see. Let's keep that a target. Shayan and Jibogda, thank you again as usual. Bye for now. We'll see you as soon as possible. The Manchester Derby. Let's hope we can make a big podcast, and let's hope that it isn't a stalemate as the one that it was before. So thank you again. Bye for now. Let's see you on the next one. So
bye.
So thanks a lot to both of them. And guys, I know Man United and the other podcast will be coming back soon. The UCL podcast will be coming in, and we are out of UCL at this moment of time. But then again, this is a journey that you were with me from the start. And now again, another setback. The first setback was COVID. Because of that, I opened this channel. Let's see, something good always comes. As they always say, tough times do not last, only tough people do. So around 10 minutes to the match, I'll let you have a quick bathroom break. Then if you watch this recording, even on Forex, you can catch all the tactical analysis. I'll catch you tomorrow. The PES streams are back on. Let's see what happens. Okay, Tom, I'll take the one last comment. Bruno is my captain in FPL and triple captain as well. Lot of people have triple captain Bruno, including my Liverpool supporting friend Neil. So let's hope not to disappoint him. So bye bye for now. Let's hope to enjoy the match. Late kickoff until 4 a.m. in the morning. क्या यार Premier League? थोड़ा कुछ तो जैम कर दो. Next day, some people, the exams are going on. So कुछ रहम कर दो भाई. 12:30 was fine, now 1:45. My God. Bye bye for now. We'll see you in the next one. Without much further ado, this is your boy Neil for Netflix Football. Enjoy the match. Keep entertaining, keep loving, and keep subscribing. Bye bye for now.